We're here at the Bell's House Live at the Greek Theater. This is our first time. Now, first of all, you guys know that we love Critical Role. We are critters. We also love
Vox Machina.
We also love the Legend of Vox Machina, their animated series. So we're so excited to be experiencing our first Critical Live show. We're all caught up with the campaign, which took a little bit, but we're caught up. So I can't wait to see what's gonna go down tonight. Dustin's a bigger fan than me because he's essentially introduced me to Critical Role. So how excited are you to be here tonight?
Just to be able to see them on live, just to be able to see them on stage is exciting. I remember we went to go to a screening for season 2 of The Legend of Vox Machina, and they got to come in and did like a little Q&A, and I was like, oh, they're right in front of me, this is awesome. And then of course Travis saw us in like our season 2 jerseys for Critical Role, and he was like, hey, and I was like, oh, he noticed me. But I love these guys. They're amazing people. They're incredibly talented, and I cannot wait for tonight.
We're not wasting any time. You came here to see a show. Please welcome the cast of Critical Role.
Wait, I have a request. Could everyone in cosplay please stand up and show us your wares? Yes. 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 Wow. Yes. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Are you ready to handle the big bads of Aeor?
I feel like whenever we propose these theaters and it's like, the Greek, we're like, no, that doesn't make any sense. And it still doesn't.
We've known about this as a possibility for a long time, and it's just felt like a dream, and here we are. I mean, look at it. We're out in the wilderness, sort of. It's gorgeous. I can't wait for the sun to go down.
Who is everyone's favorite villain? Can be from any campaign. Favorite villain from any campaign. I, for one, don't support that one.
Essek, hot boy. Essek is a villain. Essek.
That's the villain of my life. I don't know.
I mean, it's hard to top the Briarwoods, right? They're so hot.
And then I kind of think the Nightmare King is hot. I know!
But does he count? I don't know, I guess.
He kind of counts.
He's
That
cool.
explains so much lately.
It's Chairs. We're all about to die.
Biggest or most surprising difference between this campaign and past campaigns in terms of either character relationships or overall plot?
From my perspective, I've never had the opportunity to run multiple campaigns in the same setting, let alone in the same timeline. So the fact that I get to now weave 10 years together to watch these assholes quiver and shift in the face of their choices coming back to haunt them makes me so happy.
Creating Exandria, what was the first person, place, or thing that you started with that then everything else spread out from? What has it been like to see it expanded upon through books and other GMs like Brennan and Abria?
It started in Stillbend. It was our one shot at home. I made this little sleepy swamp town that was filled with competing thieves guilds and the Myriad, and the class kind of started there. I think the first NPC they ever encountered was a shifty looking guy in a dark burgundy cloak who was a member of the Myriad that Grog followed into a back room and then pushed him against a wall to interrogate him. And I remember I pulled you out of the room. We were at the table, everyone was introducing their characters and having drinks and getting to know each other.
Oh my God, what's happening? He took Travis to the other room. You can do that?
And so it was just me and Travis in the room, and Travis like, okay, what happens? Like, he turns to you and goes to pull a blade. He's like, what do you do? I grab him and push him against the wall. All right. Make sure roll a strength check, rolls the dice. All right, yeah, you push against the wall, and his eyes turn scared, seeing Travis's face go. That worked? Oh, well, I'm gonna punch him in the stomach. Okay, do that. He's like, this is the best.
For Robbie, when Dorian left Belle's Hells, the group was still brimming with the bright eyes of new adventure on the tales of Esteros' murder. He found them months later clearly suffering from their recent trials. Is he concerned with where the group is headed and their apparent willingness to sacrifice themselves for the cause?
This is not fair. That is by far the deepest question you've asked so far. No, not to me. I love these guys, but I did try to avoid watching the show the whole time I was gone. So yeah, there was a little bit of a little shock when I dropped into the space. But you know, overall, master storytellers, and to be able to be folded into that while it was all going on and have it feel seamless, like, you know, they've been doing their thing for a while. To truly feel like I've never left when I walked in the door, that just speaks to like the power of the table and the power of the story. And yeah, man, just so glad to be there. It's awesome. I'm not concerned about them. They're the heroes, right? Right?
This question is for Laura and Marisha. Love it. At what point did you realize that your characters would eventually have to decide between accepting more power to save your loved ones at the cost of losing yourself, or rejecting that power to save yourself in a possible future with your loved one while possibly dooming Exandria because you weren't strong enough? This is for 10 points extra credit.
Can I just say the word possibly 3 more times and then that counts?
I've never seen the future double perfect tense.
I don't think we fully made that decision yet.
Oh, we haven't?
Okay, maybe it's been made by some people. I don't, this is different for you, I think. There wasn't a moment in time of going, this is the hard line. It's just been kind of like, we're running towards it and tripping over it or stopping, right?
It feels, you've seen that gif or that fail of the 2 girls who were like jumping off a cliff into the lake together, and one of the girls chickens out at the last minute and it causes the other girl to like kind of biff it and fall into the lake. It's kind of what it feels like.
I made you biff.
You did.
How does it feel to be back in Aor, but as a character who has far less interest in the arcane than Caleb did?
I have to bite my tongue constantly. I want to start talking in a German accent constantly.
Do it now.
I'm there with my boyfriend, who's not my boyfriend. The realities has started to blur like 8 or 9 years ago, guys.
Well, it's so complicated because we have all of the knowledge of all the 3 campaigns, and we're also in production on Legend of Vox Machina and Mighty 9, our animated show, at the same time. And then in the evenings, we go and re-record Belle's Hells. So it's like Memento, like all the time, like this flashing through bodies. It's, yeah, a little everything, everywhere, all at once.
Oh, you give a little grace when occasionally Ford pops out a Chetney.
Every morning, switch accent today? I don't, oh God, oh.
Everyone strap in, this is a huge one. What's your favorite creative choice another cast member made?
The Dust of Deliciousness by Jeff.
For me, I'm gonna say this recent, but also it caught me off guard because I was in the player's seat. Was when Dariax and Dorian were returning from the chaos of the Opal Showdown, and after making their way to Zephyra, and me in my head contemplating how I can incorporate Dariax as like an NPC and follow through with this thing, you full on like leaving him in that tavern and then going out to get cigarettes and never coming home.
Listen, it was for your own good. And I've always wanted to like white fang somebody. It's like, you won't go, you get out of here. Go home now, this is too tough for you.
It was great. It was such a heartbreaking moment, like just narratively, but then me being Dariax, I was like, oh, I love this.
And I love RPing with Matt because whenever we're passing the ball back and forth, the minute that it clicks in, this little deviousness lights into his eyes. The minute you saw what I was gonna do, you were like, let's go, baby. It feels so good.
I love Marisha's recent moment of trying to jack the sword and just pulling the string from the sweater and being totally cool to keep pulling and keep pulling and keep pulling till the sweater had unraveled around us both. That's what I live for.
Man, I actually have two. I've got to give a shout out to Ford dropping the Sword of Fathoms into the lava. That was, oh, wait, you say it and then I'll say the other one.
Mine is Ford dropping the Sword of Fathoms into the lava.
Yeah.
It was such a creative choice.
It was such a creative choice. And then, I mean, we gotta give a shout out to FCG. Yeah, doing the heroic sacrifice and going boom boom on Oda.
There's another one. The Scanlan shitting blue poo to Scry. I think was an excellent creative choice.
I would also say I hated it in the moment, but looking back in hindsight, it was incredibly brave and changed the course of the entire campaign. Was Caleb giving up the beacon of the Bright Queen? That was amazing.
That was Taliesin. Taliesin, say it.
Caleb giving up the beacon was a way it changed the entire course of the game. Was really amazing.
But trying to kill Santa Claus!
My favorite creative choice is when Matt gives me a smorgasbord of NPCs to flirt with. That's all I want.
NPCs, yes.
Wait a minute!
Always a surprise.
Who of your main 3 campaign characters do you personally relate to the most?
I really do think that's tough because I feel like, yeah, there's a piece of us in every single one of the characters, and like we flesh out that for that character. Like, Jester peeks out a lot, but I think, I mean, Vex was original because she's who I was driven to start, you know? If anything, I think Imogen is maybe the farthest from me, personally, just because, well, yeah. Fart. Penis. Like, that's who I am. You know, not Imogen.
Yeah, but like they're shards of us. I think you'd have to combine them to make the people we are. Like, shards of us, the shards of us. You know, I have to take Vax's shit stirring with Caleb's social anxiety, with Orum's desire to try, and that's close to who I am.
I feel like for me it would probably go Yasha, because I feel like sometimes I can be a little quiet and shy. And then Fern, which doesn't make any sense. And then probably Mike. But yeah, there's little shards of all of us in the characters.
It's Grog.
That is true. That is true.
I've just learned after 42 years to put a bunch of filters on it and go, shut up, keep that inside. Sit down for Vox Machina and go, open the floodgates.
I'd say you're a combo between Grog and Chet.
I'd say that, yeah. Grog and Chetty's a good combo.
Because you're like a little bit smarter than Grog.
I'd say for me probably Allura, because she's looking out for all the friends that are constantly fucking up and trying to herd them like the cats they are, and just sighing in frustration, and she does her best to keep them from getting themselves killed. So that'd be mine.
Yeah, I feel like Keyleth spoke to my insecurities. Bo spoke to me being a cocky asshole, so is the whole other side of the spectrum. Laudna is just me in Chaos Goblin mode. And Bunny is when I'm just wanting to be a little slut.
I'm all of mine are just embedded in my personality. It depends on what day and what time of day they come out. It's would be hard to pick. Yeah, they are all me. I don't really have a lot of separation.
Characters have been up to since we last saw them, or do you use the information given during the campaign finales as a basis and take it from there? P.S. Where is Grog?
No, I do. Like, when we finish a campaign, especially when we're leading up to another campaign, I'll go ahead and just ask them, what their character's been up to. We had the pleasure with doing the Tal'Dorei Reborn guide that we actually got to discuss exactly how they progressed and where they are in the world and kind of how they exist in that space. So that was another example of, or another excuse for us to go ahead and have that kind of roundtable conversation. For campaign 3, we had conversations more or less where like campaign 2 characters were, but also there are little facets of things that I kept to surprise the players with, but based on the information of where it came from, so it wasn't like ruining their character or changing the core of who they are. Just little tidbits to make them excited that things are happening with them. And now that I've dovetailed the campaigns into 3, I just get to watch them scream. It's great.
Laudna has spent so much time with Delilah in her head. During the period of Delilah's silence, did Laudna ever have a moment where she felt lonely? Or was she happy to have thought that Delilah was gone?
No, she was 100% lonely. It's kind of like a Tom Hanks a la Castaway and Wilson relationship. Wilson, yeah. Yeah, and even when she made pate, it was kind of like as a reflection of her loneliness, kind of making an imaginary friend. But at this point, I mean, it's hard. She's been in her head for so long. I've seen a lot of people be like, well, I need a clear-cut answer. Was this Laudna or was this Delilah? And the answer is, yeah. Like it's yes, the answer is yes. It's kind of, it bleeds at this point. And, it's hard to tell where one stops and the other begins.
Imogen seems pretty set in her conviction to stop the Vanguard from bringing Predathos back. Is there any part of her that sympathizes with them or even thinks they might be correct?
I mean, Predathos, oh no, I went southern. Predathos is very seductive, and I think as soon as she felt that welcoming warmth, she wanted to give into it. But honestly, that is what ended up being the thing that made her go, oh shit, I gotta get away from this, because it was so reminiscent of what I'd seen with other people, of like getting pulled in, that it's like this isn't good. I know the bad things that are happening because of it, and I can't go blind because of the feeling. So that's kind of why it pulled her away even harder.
Beautiful. Hey folks, are we ready to see a canon episode of Critical Role tonight?
So as you can see, we are back home. We try to cover the rest of the event via talking there, and it was just really difficult because it was 1, nighttime, and 2, lots of people very excited. We were excited ourselves, so sound would have been an issue, so we just decided to just sort of wait, gather our thoughts, and then come home and sit in our nice air-conditioned room and talk about it. So this video, from this point on, will contain spoilers for Campaign 3, including the episode that we got to see live, which is episode 98. So if you're not completely caught up, if you don't want any spoilers, we highly suggest that you save this video and come back later.
Yes, so you have been warned.
What you guys just saw was sort of us at the theater just going in. You saw the Q&A, bits and pieces of it. And now let's talk about our experience at the live show, because we have never been able to participate in a Critical Role live show ever. We've only been able to see it, when they put it up on VOD.
Yeah, it was a really cool experience. It really does kind of change just how you watch the show, how the vibes are. And what it really reminded me of is going to a blockbuster movie opening of, like, remember those midnight showings where
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, like Lord of the Rings, or or actually especially like Star Wars, when it was Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. Thrones, where it's just that mob mentality and it's fun and everyone's cheering and hooting and hollering, and it really does get you more involved. For a little while, Wendy and I had kind of, focused on other content instead of watching campaign 3. Then we got caught up so we can go and watch the live show. This live show really did kind of re-energize my excitement and my passion for watching Critical Role, just because of how excited some of the people were, the cosplay that was there, and it was just very, very infectious.
Yeah, and I want to also equate it to not just like a marquee movie opening, but sort of like a concert or sports event vibe, which I love. It was giving, but in a space where you felt safe, not just like security, but you felt safe because you were among fellow critters. This is everybody who, have loved these characters just as much as you do, are into the campaign as much as you are, and we've all gathered at this place, and we're so excited to watch them play out this next chapter in the story on stage live, and it's completely unpredictable because everything's determined by the roll of the dice. I also want to equate this to how I feel when I'm at a K-pop concert. You're among, whether it's ARMY, Blink, Stay, whoever, you're safe there, and it's one of those. And I saw people giving away freebies, much like the same as K-pop concerts. It's kind of like, hey, I love your cosplay. Here's some stickers I made from home. Do you want them? And I'm like, oh my God, I feel just so like seen. You're not nervous about people judging you for your cosplay. You're like, everybody's just so excited to be there. So that's one of the things that I really was looking forward to, and I love that we got to experience that, because you don't get to experience that when you're watching at home. It's more of like an envy when we're watching at home, like, I wish we could be there. Look how excited they all are. I will say the excitement continued when they start like a little countdown. The show's about to begin. The cast comes on stage, and obviously they're called out one by one.
Thank you for coming out tonight. My name is Brendan Lee Mulligan. I'll be your master of ceremonies. We don't know what's gonna happen. You could live witness a total party kill tonight. You guys are feeling the moment, but you don't see what I'm seeing, which is the like 8 people in the crowd who are so deep in it that they're like, no! Please welcome to the stage, Tallis and Jeffy!
probably was my favorite one to come out because he wasn't like full chutney with like the bald cap and the hair. He's got this like not gold, like yellow gold tracksuit with RTA across his behind.
He's got to have had that made just specially for him, which is hilarious. And you can tell that, you know, when they're doing a live show, they're also wanting to hype up the crowd. They're wanting to put on a good show.
Yes.
Whereas opposed when you're in the studio, I think it's a little bit more sterile, but it's when you're in the theater and you just have all of these fans yelling and screaming, you're just like, yeah, and you just get that. And Brennan Lee Mulligan did a great job on kind of, all right, everybody, being the hype man and bringing everybody out.
Yeah. Also, just a quick note on the set design. It's so cool looking, and I will say for it, like seeing it because it's an outdoor venue, seeing it like on stage and you're surrounded, you're kind of in the mountains, there are these really tall trees, so it's just greenery, and the theater, I think it sets it up really, really well. I really enjoyed it in the daytime.
Yeah.
The nighttime came, and like with LA, and this is just very like a personal preference, because I really like that venue, and I can see how like I equate it to like Hollywood Bowl. It's the same same vibe. And for like an outdoor like music event or whatever, like it would be really, really cool. But because it's a playthrough for TRPG, it's a little bit different where it's a little bit more quieter at moments.
Yeah.
And it became very distracting when the sun was coming down and all the bugs came out of the woodwork, and instead of like, I was like trying to pay attention to what was happening on stage, and all these bugs kept on attacking my face, and I was just like waving my napkin around trying to deter them from biting me. And then the bats were in the air because
that was
they
a little
were
creepy at one point too, where I just look up and I'm like, oh, no, those are bats.
So I wish I filmed it. It was so on brand. So, and it just as a personal preference to me, I think I would enjoy like a Critical Live show, like in an inside theater.
Yes.
But I can see why they picked it, because it was absolutely stunning, and especially with the way the stage lit up and everything, it was really, really cool. And the temperature didn't bother me that much until the very end. Like when LA drops to the cold, because it's like desert cold, it gets really, really cold. But I brought it like a nice wrap. This one forgot.
So I kind of was like trying to steal just a little bit of the wrap. Fortunately, it was a long one that I could just be like, I'm going to take the end of it. It's only going to cover this arm, so only half of me's warm.
But that tiny caveat aside, it was so entertaining. I felt like we were hanging on to their every word, every role. One of my favorite things was, and again, spoilers in this video, when Imogen spoke with her mom, and I can't remember if it was in like a dream / nightmare / vision.
It was something that was produced by the demon.
Dunamox?
Yeah, Dunamox.
Dumanox. Sorry, I said that backwards.
Because they had to roll in order to resist a wisdom saving throw in order to resist these nightmares that would come up. You know, Imogen had her mom.
Dorian had the brother.
Dorian had his brother. Ashton had FCG. And
I think that was a rough one to watch.
That one was a rough one.
Oh, I felt so bad for him, because and that was great. But with Imogen, where she's talking to her mom, and at one point she was like, "Stop talking, Mama." I was like, Imogen and Laudna are like my favorite in this
moments
campaign.
like that are always really hard to pull off in TTRPGs, because when it's just something that doesn't really have any function in the game, whereas there's actually some kind of mechanic to make your character do this or that, the player knows that it's not real, but the player character, the character wouldn't know. So it's kind of hard for that to play as impactful as it would.
One of the other highlights of the show, other than being there, is Sam Riegel's new character. And I said this to Dustin, like 100% they're going to reveal his new character at the live show. And I feel like Sam, from watching all the past like live show VODs, he loves to make the entrance, right? Wasn't there that one time he came out and had that like glowy thing on his pelvis? I think it was 99. He was on like a scooter or some sort of like wheelies or something like that. And I was thinking, what character would he reveal it? Which it would make sense.
Yeah.
And when is it going to happen? Because you could also be like, what if they never cross paths? What if like the DM has it set this way and they're like,
He was
we're gonna go
hiding
this
in a
way.
closet. What happens if they never open the closet? I think that would have been hilarious.
He would have knocked on it. Hey,
let me out. Is someone out there?
But I gotta say, that was one of the funnest moments. The crowd went wild. People were standing up, jumping, screaming, probably crying. And he came out in this full, like, sequence suit, long hair. And immediately I was like, oh my god, that's gonna get caught in all the sequence. And I think it was getting caught a little bit.
If we could please have Sam Riegel come to the table.
Dude, you stole JoJo Siwa's new look.
I hope this doesn't awaken something in me.
What a fucking outfit. Okay. Sam, if you wouldn't mind describing what they see as they look within this darkened room.
In the history of Exandria, there have been many hot minotaurs. But perhaps none as hot as this minotaur.
But his new character is a minotaur by the name of Breas Doomseed.
And it's a bard paladin. Well, actually, it's a paladin
bard. And one of the first things I thought in my head was, where is Veth? Because they created, and I don't think this is the same at all, but it just reminded me of the hots that Veth had for
that one Minotaur.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, so we're just playing this out. But this character is so fantastic with, being a bard, high charisma, really low intelligence.
Yeah.
Which kind of like, it's a juxtaposition in itself, kind of hilarious.
He's kind of made his charisma
I love this character.
Unbeatable.
Yes.
I mean, his charisma is insane. I was like, how did you do that with this character? So anytime anyone's like, what is that called? Insight check. It doesn't matter
he's
because
like,
you're not going to beat his
28,
roll.
32.
Yeah, like some insane numbers. Of course, one of the big highlights, though, was the huge boss battle at the end. I've always loved how Matt is able to have so many different things going on in a battle, to where it makes it so it's not just hitting the bad guy. There's other things going around, other people, there's other characters that enter, there's other goals and objectives in order to get to kind of win the battle. And I just love how it played out, the reveal that happened, the build up to the battle. And it was really cool to be able to see it live.
I think multiple times throughout the night, because they were rolling good, but not their best.
Yeah.
And we had, you always joke before a campaign, like, what if it'd be really crazy and insane if, we TPK'd at a live show. And there were some, especially when they wrote initiative. And it was, I think he asked for his 15 to 20, and it was nobody.
No
I'm
one.
like, uh-oh.
And then he 20 to 25, no one. 15 to 20, I think one person said something. And then everyone was in the lower numbers. And it's just like, whoa.
Yeah. But it was really fun to watch them play through the battle and just being able to see, the players. I think we, at some point, forget that at least for me, you forgot that you're watching a live show, and these are the people that you've watched every Thursday on the stream. You're just kind of so into, you forgot about even the people who are playing it. You're just thinking about the character and the story.
Yeah.
Right? And it's really so cool of an experience to kind of everything, your real world and everything falls away, and now you're just kind of so immersed into that, and it has to do with the way they tell the story, the way they play their characters, the sound design, and of course, like the fellow critters sitting around us. That really makes it feel like an immersive experience, which I absolutely love.
Make a strength saving throw for me.
Okay. Oh, I got advantage on that because I'm a werewolf. A 21.
Okay. You just failed. You guys watch as out of this little girl, this like almost spectral dark chain, not unlike the blackened chains you've seen emanating from the walls and ceilings of this ruin, strikes off and in an instant pulls Woven Chetney up next to her on top of the engine. You're like half bound by it, but you're not restrained, and the voice goes, "You promised you'd destroy it. Destroy it."
Yeah, the game is 4 hours long, maybe for a little bit more, and it really doesn't feel like I was sitting there for 4 hours.
Yeah.
There are times when you kind of get a little like, okay, this part's
the bugs were coming for us.
the bugs are coming out, but for the most part, I'm like, oh, okay, well that went a lot faster than I thought it would, and you're like, oh no, it's been almost 4.5 hours.
So we get to the end of the boss battle, and I'm thinking, okay, this is, you know, they didn't TPK, everybody is mostly okay. It's gonna be great, but they throw another wrench into the whole thing where Matt stands up from the table, and I'm like, are we doing another battle? Is he gonna go get a pull out? I thought he was gonna go pull out another mini.
Yeah, or something like that.
What else now? Is there a boss's boss? And Brennan Lee Mulligan comes out and sits down and tells the story, and like I just froze.
Right. In a space beyond the real, there was, made of light, a palace. Which is to say, a garden, or a fountain, or a mirror, or a heart, or more than any of these, an idea. A swirling nebula of glimmering potential, resting eternally upon the threshold of being.
50 million thoughts like kind of going through, you know, my brain. I was like, wait, are we switching DMs for the main campaign halfway through? What is going on? Are we doing this? And then it kind of made sense as he started narrating on, I believe this is what they're doing, kind of alluding to like the next mini campaign for EXU, which is really, really exciting because they've been really using, you know, EXU to more flesh out this world that they're building, making it really, really grand. It's almost so expansive that in the beginning I was really afraid to get into it.
Yeah,
because I was like, no, too much.
Now.
Yeah, so you have to, I had to like slowly do it, and at one point I was like, I can't watch all of this, and luckily they're recaps.
Yeah.
So you just go online and read the recaps, but to kind of loop that into a live show was so genius. I think that's like no one really, at least I didn't see that coming at all. Like the only thing I really predicted was Sam's character reveal for this, which was kind of like almost,
like they're not gonna have Sam not there.
Yeah, so I really loved seeing that because we were like gathering up our things, and I was like, okay, get ready to like go back and call our Uber, and I was obviously we weren't gonna leave before the show was over, but I was like, why is Matt standing up? And it just, everybody around us lost it. I lost it. It was a great way to end the show, and it makes me look forward to what is coming up next, not just in this main campaign, but in the mini ones as well for EXU.
Overall, I had a great time at this event. It was amazing to be able to see the cast of Critical Role up on stage, to see all of the cool cosplays, to see how hyped everyone got, to see the excitement. The downfalls of it really, I feel like, came more from like the choice of venue, from, you know, the fact that it was outside, the bugs, and a little bit of the scheduling, because the Q&A happened at like 4 o'clock.
4:30.
And then you had like until 6:30 until the main show started. So there was like 2 hours where you're just sitting in the sun and kind of being like, oh, this is uncomfortable.
Not us though, our seats were in the shade. So we just hung out in our seats. I will say that gap for me, like, it was a little bit long, but it gave me time to stand in the merch line and get us these cool shirts. It has Bell's House on the back. Can they see that?
Yep.
which I really like, and we got a free poster with it. We got two, but we gave one to Jay and Adam and previewed because we don't need two
posters.
Yeah, we're gonna hang two side by side. So they got to keep one, we got to have ours. We framed it. So really cool experience overall. I think aside from getting to experience Critical Role playing out this chapter or this episode live on stage, is to share in all those moments with the critters and friends that were there and just hollering and cheering and feeling all the emotions that these characters, as they go through, you know, their journey, we go through it with them. And because they're so good at just telling the story.
I mean, they are professional storytellers.
Yeah. It just really hooks you in, and like again, it's just everything falls away. The real world falls away, and all you are doing is living in their world for, you know, a few hours, which is really great, and it makes me crave the next episodes to come, which I think it's what is it called? Like part 1, part 2, and part 3.
Oh yeah, Downfall, part 1, 2, and 3.
It's giving X-Men. You know how X-Men series, like the animated series, do that?
Yeah.
I don't even know what's going to happen, but I'm looking forward to it. So you guys, let us know your thoughts on this episode in the comment section below. What were some of your favorite moments? I know we definitely didn't talk about them all. And have you gone to a Critical Role live show? If so, let us know your experience in the comment section below. And also, if you are a fan of Critical Role and you're wondering, should I, you know, spend the money and time to go and see them live? Absolutely yes. You're going to have a great time. You're going to get to meet fellow critters. You're going to make new friends. You're going to feel like, at least for me, I felt so, like it was a safe space for me.
Yeah.
And I really love that. So that is our overall thoughts on our first live show for Critical Role. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget that we will be doing reaction and reviews for the, what is it now, 3rd season?
Yep, 3rd season of
The
Legend of Vox Machina.
Yeah, so we will see you then. Thanks for watching.